don't really know who the Amazon labor union is. There's a lot of suspicion, a lot of hesitation. But then once people start talking about bringing in the Teamsters and possibly working with them, there was just a lot of outpouring of interest.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
We're coming up on the end of the show. We have a caller on the line. We'll take that call really quick. Calling from a 352 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, right on. This is Brandon from Cincinnati, from the Amazon KCVG Northern Kentucky campaign.
Yes, Brandon. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. What's on your mind?
Oh, a lot of things today. First, just wanted to say great show as usual. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. Solidarity with the education workers there. That's a huge story. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The Virginia education workers, and so basically, I'm calling in about the Amazon stuff, but there's just there's so much going on here in the world.
Right.
The Supreme Court ruling against the Starbucks workers and stuff like that. But I really just wanted to call in today to really talk about the Teamsters ALU merger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I have some, I'm personally involved with that. So, out here at Amazon KCVG, we were working with ALU. KCVG is what we're calling ourselves. So initially we were working with ALU in a lot of ways. They were giving us some support, and we were initially using their constitution. But then at the beginning of the year, we voted to officially become independent, to disaffiliate with them. So that gave us the option of whether or not to, keep going forward with our own independent union. I think I talked to you guys about this.
Right.
But then, so
we had some folks on from, we had some other folks on the show on Zoom from KCVG to talk about the affiliation vote with the Teamsters as well. So yeah. Another instance in which I think that the workers probably made the right decision.
Yeah, so we basically, that was overwhelming too. I was one of many folks who voted to affiliate with the Teamsters. They didn't have to give the great presentations that they did, but they did anyways, and I felt like they basically sold us on what they did across the street in a lot of ways with the local 100, working with the DHL workers over there. And then, and we saw personally, if people just paid attention as we were coming into work at Amazon, we saw the DHL workers out there on strike, and, we got to have conversations with people inside talking about how, they won their contract, they got their union. And so anyways, there's already a lot of, recognition for the Teamsters as a union in general. And frankly, there's a lot of the conversations I had with folks, or I've had with folks on the floor, is folks who they don't really know who the Amazon labor union is, and they don't really, there's a lot of suspicion, a lot of hesitation working with them. But then once people start talking about bringing in the Teamsters and possibly working with them, there was just from what I saw, just a lot of outpouring of interest, and just folks who weren't so interested in the union before suddenly became very interested, and so that vote was overwhelming. So there's a lot of support for that, and we're working with Local 89 out of Louisville, and these folks have been great.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
And I don't know if you saw the clip earlier in the show, but I think it was from Local 89. We played a clip from one of the UPS admin staff comparing his paycheck before the union and after the union. So seems like that's a good fighting local.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did see that, and that was awesome. And I actually got to meet that gentleman at the general meeting that they had last night. That they invited a contingent of us Amazon workers out to their meeting, and it was great. We got to check out the Union Hall in Louisville, and and got to see how things worked, how an actual union works, because a lot of us have never been in a union. We don't know how any of this stuff works. It's just we all have started this up from like the ground up, and made a lot of mistakes along the way. But these folks at the Local 89 made us feel like really welcome, and just I don't know, it came off to me as just like a great example, and folks that we can really work with, and they made it clear that they have our backs, taking on Amazon and trying to get our demands met. So,
right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear they're working with y'all and seem to be doing right by you, and really looking forward to y'all filing for an election. Do you have any? Obviously you don't tell me if you shouldn't, but do you have any clues as to when an election filing might come?
I'm not really sure on that. I know the focus of the campaign has really changed now. Now that we're working with the Teamsters, it was very different when we were working with ALU. There was a lot of focus on getting cards signed and tabling out front, but now things are sort of they're changing, and I think for the better. So that's not really the focus at the moment. I think basically we're just trying to build up support, and basically just I guess make the case that the Teamsters are able to represent folks and support us when we want to take some kind of action. And I just wanted to say that with this vote from JFK8 affiliating with the Teamsters as well. Well, I guess there hasn't been a vote, right? That's the whole kind of controversy here. They kind of came out in a sort of in a weird way here. And if I can speak to that, I believe that is kind of the way in which ALU JFK was formed initially, and the leadership structure and the coordinating committee and all that stuff. And I believe it has to do with a lot of that, and there really hasn't been, as far as I know, a representation of a clear democratic representation of who, represents that. So I can't, I don't know the whole story. I'm not a worker there, but I do, we have connections with folks. They supported us, as in the workers on the floor. And I just wanted to say, folks I spoke to said that they definitely, there's a lot of support for affiliating with the Teamsters, and that's coming from the Reform Caucus as well as just general workers. And frankly, eventually this will help folks get a vote and get a say, so I feel like those folks made the right call, and I welcome them, and just want to say solidarity with everybody trying to get a union out there. So
yep, I tend to agree. Thanks for your call, Brandon. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.